All right, picture this for a minute. Picture paying money for not having money. Picture paying the most the most profitable trillion-dollar profit organizations money for not having money. Sounds crazy, right? Apparently not in Canada. Canadian banks is something called NSF fees, non-sufficient fund fees, which by itself, the name is ridiculous. Not having enough money fees, like why? What? How does that make sense? Anyways, in this video, I'm going to be explaining what it is, how it happens, and how to avoid it. All right? This video specifically hits a nerve with me. It happened to me when I first came back to Canada, and I wasn't aware of what NSF is. Didn't even think it was a thing until it hit me. And dudettes, did it struck a nerve, or was I frustrated? So first, let's explain how the situations happen. These beautiful NSF fees. Now, let's assume you have a pre-authorized payment set up. What that means is you have an agreement with a third-party company that for their services, like a telephone bill, gym membership, insurance, whatever it is, for their services, you have to pay them money. Fair. You give them a pre-authorized payment, so you give them permission by giving them your account number, transit number, institution number, that they're allowed to go into your bank account and take out that specific bill on a specific day for their services. So convenient. It sounds so convenient. When I first came, I was like, hell yeah, because when I first came, I had savings. I had a good savings with me, right? Quickly, I realized Canada's expensive. That savings drained out. I thought I would be able to find a job quickly. Silly me, right? I had no idea. So I set up pre-authorized payments for a bunch of stuff. And then, all right, so now you got pre-authorized payments set up into your bank account. And now, imagine this scenario, and this scenario happens a lot, and it happened to me. It's the payment due date, right? And for whatever reason, you don't have enough money in your account to cover that bill. Now, anywhere else in the world, the transaction will not go through. The bill, the company will try to take money out of your account. You don't have enough money in the account. The transaction will not go through because you don't have enough money in the account. And that's the end of the story between you and the bank. Now the third-party company will call you and deal with you with the bill payment. That sounds fair. Not in Canada, in Canadian banks. In Canadian bank, the transaction will go through even though I don't have money in the account. Why would it go through? I don't have money. What kind of sorcery is this, right? Does it make sense? Okay, I get it. In math, 3 minus 4 is equals to -1. That's in math, right? On paper. But in real life, if I had 3 apples and someone took 4 apples from me, I'm not going to have -1 apple. I'm going to have 0 apples. And that person who took 4 apples is not going to magically have 4 apples. He's only going to have 3 apples. Because that's what I had. So that's what he took. I'm not going to have, there's nothing called negative, right? But in Canada, the transaction goes through and you don't have enough money, your account will be in the negative. Shouldn't the same concept apply? If I have $10 and somebody's going to take $15 from me, I shouldn't have -5. I have $10. They took 15. Now I should have 0. And they shouldn't have $15 because I didn't have $15. They should only have 10. But this is proof again. The banking system, it's all numbers on a screen. So now the transaction goes through. You don't have enough money, but the transaction goes through. All right. And then the next day, usually, so your account will be in the negative. It will be overdrawn. The next day, the transaction will bounce because you didn't have enough money. And because of that transaction, The bank will charge you NSF fees, non-sufficient fund fees. For what? I have no idea. It's just common here. Like, what does the bank have to do with it? This is a problem between me and the third party company. I missed their payment. Why am I paying you a fee, right? If the third party company wants to punish me for missing a payment by adding a little bit of money, that makes sense. That's mean, but that makes sense. Why am I paying the bank money? Now, imagine this scenario too, because this happened to me. This is why this topic, I might be ranting a lot, because it really struck a nerve. The NSF fee at that time was $45 for every NSF fee. All right, and it was a stupid gym membership that I had. Right, I'm not gonna call out the gym name, as if they don't deserve it. But all right, the membership was $25, $35, whatever it is. I didn't have enough money to cover that. The transaction went through. The next day, I find myself I owe the bank $45 for a $25 bill. That blew my. I was like, what the hell's going on? Right, that. I know in this channel I say there's a lot of things that blew my mind about the Canadian banking system. I think this is the number one thing that blew my mind. This NSF fees. Right? And then let's continue the scenario. Which is, for me, it wasn't a scenario, it was a reality. It's not just one bill that we have. Everybody has multiple bills, right? And money is not, if I didn't have money in one day, money is not going to drop into my account magically. So every company that tried to take out money and I didn't have enough money, I paid $45 for every transaction for NSF fees. Right? And then one day, I swear, this gym really pissed me off. And one day they attempted to take their bill 3 times in one day. A $25 bill or a $35 or whatever it was. 3 times in one day. Right? Like, if I didn't have money in the morning, I'm not gonna have money in the evening. If I didn't have money in the evening, I'm not going to have money in the afternoon. Why are you doing it 3 times? And it's not like they called me and they're like, hey, we did it once. You didn't have money. We're going to do it again. Try to get money. At least I can maybe go ask someone to just cover this bill before. $45 into 3 in one day for a $25 bill. How is that not criminal? I have no idea. How is that normal in Canada? I have no idea. Really, honestly. I mean, I don't have enough money to cover a $25 bill, and now I'm in the negative in the 200s from all the bills, from all the attempts, from all, like, yo, what's going on? How is this possible? Now, in March 2026, finally, luckily, the government put a cap on NSF. They're like, nope, you cannot charge people for not having money. $45. You can charge them $10. So they didn't take it away, but at least they reduced it to $10. And they also put a rule that if multiple transactions happens in one day, they can only charge you 1 NSF. And if the amount missing is less than $10, they can't charge you $10. Amazing. I wish those rules applied to me when my gym was charging me 3 times in a day for a bill less than $45, which I ended up like. It's just this topic, this NSF struck a nerve with me, right? So at least that from now on, if you get an NSF more than $10, walk into your bank and tell them what the hell's going on. The government said $10 only. Now, after working in the bank for 2 years, I realized how to avoid this, because this happens often. This happens like a lot. All right, so 4 ways, maybe 5 ways to avoid this. Number 1, the easiest way and the most logical way is don't set up a pre-authorized payment. I know it's convenient. It really was. The idea was like, hey, awesome, I don't have to think about bill payments and making sure I pay on time and miss a bill. It does automatically. That's great and all if you have money. If you know you're good and there's money in your account always, and it's never gonna go in the negative. How many of us have that privilege? And lucky are the ones that do, right? And this is capitalism, basically. The poor pay more, get punished by paying, and the rich get free stuff. Anyways, back to number one, how to avoid it. Don't set up a pre-authorized payment. But what that means is you have to be aware of when your payment due dates are and pay them manually, right? And I do air quotes for manually because it's not like you're gonna go to the telephone provider and give them money. You just go on your online banking and you pay it. So if you don't set up a pre-authorized payment, you don't give any company permission to go into your account and take any dollar. End of story. No pre-authorized payments. Just be aware of the bill payment due date and make sure you pay on time so you don't miss a bill payment. Number two, now if you are going to set up a pre-authorized payment for convenient, make sure, and this is easier said than done, make sure you have enough money to cover the damn bill before the payment due date. Again, I understand it's easier said than done, but that's number two to avoid this ridiculous NSF fees. Now, number three, again, because of my background, I really don't recommend this. But number three, Canadian banks offer a service called overdraft protection. Remember when I explained that when your account goes in the negative, it becomes overdrawn? So there's some banks provide a service called overdraft protection. What that means is the bank will cover your ass in case your account goes in the negative for a certain amount, whatever it is you approved, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $4,000. They will cover your bank account in the negative for that amount. So the bill doesn't bounce. You at least pay the bill, and you don't get charged NSF fees. Now that is credit at the end of the day. It's the bank's money, so you'll be paying interest depending on how long you stayed in the negative and how much you stayed in the negative. So you'll be paying interest, and every bank is structured different. Some banks, there's going to be obviously nothing's for free. They're gonna charge you a service fee for this overdraft protection. Some banks will charge you only if you go and use the overdraft protection. Some banks will charge you even if you don't use the overdraft protection monthly. So if this is something you're interested in, walk into the bank, ask them how their overdraft protection work, and at least you'll have ease of mind on not paying NSF. I think those three reasons, the three ways. The fourth way is instead of giving companies pre-authorized payment from your checking account, give them your credit card for pre-authorized payments. And those are the 4 ways or 5 ways of avoiding avoiding non-sufficient funds. I really hope this doesn't happen to you. Oh, the number 6th or 5th, I lost count. The number 6th thing to do if you find yourself in this pickle, don't do what I did, because I kind of was embarrassed, not having money. I didn't call the bank. I didn't call, the third-party company. I didn't ask them to stop it. Another way of avoiding this is when it happens, or if you know it's going to happen, call the third-party company and tell them, stop the pre-authorized payment. From now on, I'm going to pay the money when I have it, right? Sometimes, and it's mostly gyms, they'll tell you, oh, we can't do that. I don't know why they can't do that, even though the agreement is between me and the company. They'll tell you, go to your bank and tell them to stop it. Tell them to cancel it. Like, why? I didn't have to go to the bank when I did the pre-authorized payment. I came to you guys, so why don't you guys cancel it? But then it is what it is. Just don't ignore it and hope magically goes away. Don't be embarrassed about it. It happened to me. It happens to everybody. It happens to a lot of people. People go through shit. Shit happens. It's life. There's rough patches in our lives. Don't ignore it. All right? All right. Deal. So that's it for today. I hope this was useful. I hope you get no NSF fees in your time in your whole lifetime. Share this with newcomers. Share this with people coming to Canada. Share this with Canadian youth who might not be aware of NSF fees. Share this with anyone dealing with banks in Canada. Right? Leave a like so I know that you like my content. And like I said, this is this page. I created this page, Landing Finance, to help people navigate through the Canadian banking system, because it's so different than what the outside world is, and I do have both perspective, and I do work in a bank. So I believe this channel, I can help a lot of people navigate through this strange, odd system. Anyways, I appreciate you listening until now. Until next time, have a good day.